Hey, thanks for joining the channel. I wanted to make a short video real quick. Second attempt to make a video at this, but I wanted to show you basically the Virtavia B-1B, which is basically developed for FSX, and it's sold as an FSX aircraft, but this is Prepar3d version 4.2. It wasn't a big deal porting it into Prepar3d. I had purchased this aircraft from Flight 1, and it was no longer supported. Also, it came with a registration activation code, and I could not get it to work. I contacted Flight 1, and unfortunately I didn't hear back from them, and I was getting impatient. So what I did was basically I bought the aircraft the second time, and I purchased it from Simmarket, which I knew doesn't require registration keys. You basically have your downloads and your account, and you can download it and run it. So I installed it to my desktop, compiled it, and put it where I wanted to go. So far, I haven't had any issues with it as far as the personal tweaks that I've done, because I like to modify aircraft for my own liking. But I ended up putting basically the WeFly GPS, which is right there. It's a payware, Ultimate Professional 2.1, and I put a radar and radar settings interface in, so basically I can fly it, you know, hands-free if I need to. The scenery you're looking at, this is FlyTampa, Hong Kong. I made a video about an hour ago, and I couldn't land, and I started to get agitated because I needed a break. So I decided, well, I'll go ahead and scrap this video, start a new one. So I had a little bit of lunch, and I'm here waiting for a pushback, and the aircraft is configured for flight. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. I'll show you how well this scenery was very easy to install too. So basically what I tend to do is I'll install things into FSX if they're not, you know, actually developed for Prepar3d, especially the 64-bit, you know, 4.2 that I'm currently running, the latest version of Prepar. And I normally recompile everything, save the folder, and like these types of sceneries that come with a self-installer, it will ask you, do you want the high definition textures? And I always select all that. Once it's in there, I kind of track it down, separate it, recompile it together, and that way I'll just have a folder. So when I want to add something, say to another sim, Prepar3d version 4 or 2.5, whatever it was, instead of having going through the whole setup, I have everything compiled in a folder, and I just put it where it needs to go, and I activate the scenery just like I normally would adding any other, you know, add-on scenery. So with that said, this is FlyTampa, and this is the Virtavia B-1B. Beautiful aircraft, well done, worth every penny. So if you're wondering, should I buy it and install it into Prepar3d, well, I got to be honest with you, it's a hell of an aircraft. It's not that expensive, and it's just a real fun aircraft to fly in the simulation. So let's go ahead and get pushed back. We'll get out of here. I want to keep this short. Here comes the vehicle to push us back. Aircraft is set up to fly. I got to do a couple other things though. Turn on some radios here. I think we should be good. Pitot heat's on. Reset the altimeter. You know, this scenery right here, you know, it's pretty nice, even though it's dated. FlyTampa has, you know, St. Martin, Hong Kong. I don't know what else they have. They have quite a few, and I'll put links in my video like I always do, unless I forget this time. But for the most part, you're looking at a very dated scenery for Prepar3d for Hong Kong. It still looks good. So I go ahead and get these flaps down and get in takeoff configuration. So alright, pushback's looking good. I'll give you an idea what the aircraft looks like. So Alrighty, I think that's just about far enough to go do what we got to do. So, yep. So here we are. Once that vehicle clears our front, we'll go ahead and get ourselves ready to get out of Dodge. So, let's see. It's still backing up. So, there we go. All right, we are ready. Let's go ahead and rock and roll. So, coming left. Like I said, I modified the aircraft a little bit for my likings. You know, we all have that personal preference on how we want our aircraft to fly. Just the way we, you know, feel about how we want our sim to look. So I like to spend a lot of time tweaking. I still like a lot of eye candy. I'm more focused on the fun and visual effects of flight simming more than, you know, having 100% accurate flight sim and going through all the, you know, real life technical side of flying. So, you know, I need that balance of playability and fun and a little seriousness here and there, but sometimes you just don't have time for all the drama. So there we go. All right, looking pretty good. I had the last video I was making, I had some intense weather, and it was very, very hard to line up visually and get the aircraft on the ground. I think I ended up crashing twice, so I've kind of cleared things up a bit. It's not as intense as last weather scenario I had. So let's see. Get this thing on the center line. Yeah, it looks pretty good. For dated scenery, I mean, it doesn't look bad. I mean, this is FlyTampa, so you can find it at Simmarket and other third-party sites that sell payware for FSX and Prepar3d. Again, I purchased this B-1B a second time, but this time I got it from Simmarket, knowing that I wouldn't have to have a registration key or an activation code to get it to work. So I was able to buy it for about $40 US, install it to my desktop, and then compile it the way I want to. And, you know, it's working very well in Prepar3d version 4.2. So that's it. Let's go ahead and crank this thing up. We are ready. Power's coming up online. There's the Afterburners. Really nice sound pack with this. And let's do it. So a little bit off center line, straighten it out. Usually this aircraft's about 190 to 200 knots, and I start to rotate. Like I said, I had to tweak the flight dynamics a little bit for this. I just didn't quite like it. You're seeing some movement in the cockpit. That's from my EZdok camera software, which is tweaked and tuned for each aircraft. Gives a little more immersion. So let's go ahead. We're 200 knots now. We're rotating. There we go. Gear coming up. Still not as clear as I like it, but gonna make our way right around the islands here, and we'll come back and see if we can't line up on the runway and get her in there. Visibility is still pretty crappy. give you a flyby. So doesn't look too bad. There's the city at our 3 o'clock in that haze. Good. Awful. Awful. Let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and change the weather. Go to clear skies because that's it's horrible. There we go. So now let's work it. A lot of boat traffic out here. Could have been a collision right there off the nose. Speed is about 300. Altitude is 6,100 feet. So. I think this time we're going to do it. You can see we're kind of almost running parallel with the runway. It's a harbor, but I'm going to extend a little bit. Here's the new Hong Kong International Airport right off our nose. But I intend us going back to Hong Kong International. So. Alright, let's go ahead and descend. Coming off the throttle. Now last time I couldn't get us in. I got a visual on the airport. I used to fly out here a lot, but what happened, I just got away from it. And, I was always flying fast movers, so they're kind of easy to handle. This is the default sound pack you're hearing with this aircraft. Virtavia did a nice job. I'm not sure who did the sounds for the aircraft, but they did a nice job. There's the runway. I am running Orbx Global and Vector along with the scenery. and a modified file for vector, and you can find those files and that information at eastonhops.com. Point of contact would be Pizza. You can find them on their TeamSpeak, and you'll find that information on my last 2 videos. There'll be links, so it would definitely help if you have TeamSpeak. And the airspeed looks good. Okay. Airspeed's 275. Looking good. Gear coming down. And slow down to 250. Oh, Hong Kong. And clear the top of this mountain, and then just work our way right in. So this is definitely a harder approach than coming in from the ocean side, but we'll deal with it. Airspeed's 250. Reset my altimeter. As soon as I land, I'm going to go ahead and end this video so I can keep it short. The last couple of videos have been a lot longer than I want it to. Be a good view if you're standing on this mountain with the B-1B flying over. Again, this is a Virtavia B-1B, and I am using or flying into FlyTampa, Hong Kong. There we go, looking good. Coming out of the throttle. Letting her sink a little bit. A little bit off. Gears down, lock. Okay. There we go. Not the best landing, but slow this puppy down. Harder knots. Come on, don't burn up the brakes. Okay, there we go. There we go. Well, it's a little shaky, but she's down. Again, for you guys that are wondering, it is the Virtavia B-1B. Ported over into Prepar3d version 4.2 and flying in Hong Kong from Martin. Another piece of software developed for Flight SimX, but looks good in Prepar3d with Orbx Global and Vector activated. So, hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. See if I can give you an outside view of there.
Got a question. My Windows 10, it's making this noise like the alert noise, like if you that little chime noise that Windows 10 makes. Every 10 seconds it's making it, and it's only happened to me once before, and I don't know what's causing it.
Could it be overheat, pizza, memory issue?
No, not for his new computer.
It's the notification sound. I'm looking online. Let me see what it knows. Nothing splashing.
There she goes, boys. Anyways, thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Kind of a rough landing, but it's been a while since I flew an aircraft this big. So practice makes perfect. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching.